So we've got the DJI Action 5 Pro. And I know there's been a little bit of controversy concerning the bitrate issue. And this video is going to talk about that. So I want to interject this video and I want to shout out my own video up here. I just posted a 360 video on the channel, and it's kind of asking for your help. So if you could watch this video and then click on that, I'll also put it in the link down below. But yeah, help me out with my studio, please. If you have any insight, any wisdom, any products that you use that you could recommend, I would definitely appreciate it. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Thank you so much for checking out the Traveling On channel. I know you've got a lot of different videos competing for your attention, and I definitely appreciate you clicking onto mine. So let's talk a little bit about the whole DJI Action 5 Pro. Personally, I have been really loving the Action 5 Pro. As a user of the DJI Action 5 and a former user of the Action 4 and a DJI Pocket 3 user, I'm filming on the Sony ZV-E10. I will throw up a playlist up here of my camera items that I've talked about in the past. But those of you who already are familiar with my channel, you know that I really enjoy the products that DJI has offered. So in this coming video, I'm going to be kind of addressing the bitrate with the DJI Action 5 Pro in the evening time. I have not had the opportunity to record in the daytime, but we are going to address nighttime video, and we will get into that. You can see the timestamps down below. So let me just talk a little bit about some anecdotal things that I've noticed recording with the DJI Action 5 Pro versus the DJI Action 4 and even the Pocket 3. So I noticed that when I did some vlogs with the Action 4 in the past few months previous to the Action 5 Pro, I noticed that I didn't have a lot of confidence filming indoors with the Action 4, but I noticed that with the Action 5 Pro, it has definitely given me more confidence. I've noticed that it gives you just a brighter picture. I don't know if that's the new nanometer chip, if it's a new AI going on, but it definitely seems to be improved on that. So I definitely appreciate that aspect of the dynamic range. I think that's the word. The dynamic range is definitely showing its strength now versus the Action 4. And I found that even like I went out and just did some recording of my wife and I on our little outing. It's not something that I posted on YouTube, but I actually had the confidence to take the Action 5 and just leave the Pocket 3 at home, which is really strange for me. But I think just the super small form factor and then just the quality of the picture that's coming out of such a small little camera. I know that I've seen people talk about the Action 5 and about how, oh, you know, it's this and that, and there's nitpicks about it. But I mean, at the end of the day, after it's all said and done, this thing is so compact. And I know that there's the Insta Ace Pro version 2 just right around the corner. And I know that people are talking about that, but I think that I appreciate the Action 4 because of its smaller form factor. With the Ace Pro 2, just the dimensions of the original Ace Pro were pretty large, and then when you had to flip that flip screen up, it definitely stuck out even bigger. And I think that with the Action 5, it's just so small, and less people seem to notice that you have it. And I think for a lot of people, I, for one, am not that concerned about how people think of me, but I think that it's just more convenient to have such a small camera that doesn't attract attention. And even, of course, I don't think the GoPro, I mean, I know the GoPro's daytime quality seems to be pretty favorable for a lot of people. I haven't had a GoPro since maybe the GoPro 7, but yeah, I think that between the two main competitions between Insta and DJI, I think for me, the ability to sync both of the DJI Mic 2s together for when my wife and I go out, if I want to do a vlog, if I want to do my own family videos, I can get crispy audio from both of us. And that's a pretty cool advantage. So yeah, let's just go into reviewing the comparisons of the firmware before it and then the firmware after versus the standard and the high bit rate. So let's take a look. Pre-firmware versus post-firmware. And as you can see, I did have the foresight to do some recording before the post-firmware update came. So here is the pre-firmware update that we're looking at, and here's a post-firmware. I did record in 4K 31/60, and I used the Hohem iSteady 4 Action gimbal for this. And let's just take a look at the pre-firmware versus post. I did record a little bit earlier in the evening than I did with the pre-firmware, but let's take a look and see if we can see any difference. I feel like you're seeing definitely better dynamic range in the post firmware versus the pre firmware video. And even if you look at, for example, the details of the concrete and just the dynamic range, I think you see it better on the post firmware update. Now, this was kind of a comparison that I probably honestly shouldn't have done, but as you notice, this is super night mode. I did have it on a gimbal, and I did keep it with perfect motion blur, but and here with the regular video mode, DJI light applied, etc., I feel like you can definitely see that just a regular video mode is showing what it really looked like. I think the super night really isn't meant for city lights like this. You have to use it more in much less lighting to get the full effect of the super night. So that's just a good observation. So face exposure pre-firmware versus post-firmware. This is a video I did right when I got the Action 5, and here's it after the post-firmware. Supposedly the face exposure is better now. I will have to do a daytime comparison, but it's tough to tell. Here I did a bitrate comparison. This is post firmware. Here's the standard bitrate of this like close up of this bush, and I wanted to see if we could see any difference on dynamic range and clarity of colors, etc. And I will do a side by side here in just a moment, but you will be able to tell, I feel like, that the high bit rate is a definite improvement. So good on you, DJI. I think that concern was definitely warranted, but high bit rate looks really good compared to standard. Yo, so before I close out this video, I just wanted to shout out a couple of people. The first one is my man, Tim Brown. So he did a great video about just, the DJI Action 5 versus the Ace Pro. Can we trust the reviews? I really liked that video, and he's very insightful and yeah, just a good guy. So check out that video if you're into action cameras. So another guy I wanted to point out is Everyday Wayne. He is the one that introduced me to this like gooseneck mic, and I was watching one of his videos back in the day, and I thought it looked pretty cool. So I was able to pick up one of these because of him, and he does actually like a daily just introspective vlogs. and I've been enjoying some of his stuff. So wanted to shout him out as well. So that's it for the video. I will get out a high bitrate look, especially with like face exposure in D-Log M with the DJI Action 5 Pro when it's on daytime outside. So looking forward to doing that. How does this look? This is my basic studio setup. So hopefully this is looking okay, but I definitely want to try to upgrade my studio as time goes on. So that's going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for checking out the channel. I wanted to make sure I get some camera stuff out for my camera enthusiasts, but I do enjoy doing like the combination of vlogs, introspective thoughts, camera gear. Hope that you are able to gain something from it all. In the meantime, you all stay safe. God bless. Peace. Here in Korea, I had a Sony ZV-1 and I bought a gimbal and I started doing like 4K walks.